Welcome on board the Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas. My name is Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and today I'm going to tell you all about the iFly Ripcord skydiving experience. Ripcord by iFly is one of the really cool things you can do while on this cruise ship, and just to answer probably a question in your head, it doesn't cost you anything extra. There's only one stipulation, and that is you have to reserve in advance, and you can only reserve one flying time per cruise. However, I got really lucky and got to fly twice. I just happened to be walking past the sign-up area, and I told them, listen, I'm alone. If you've got any open spots in this group, if maybe somebody didn't show up, or if it's an uneven number, I would love to do it again. And they were like, oh yeah, sure, come on in. So yes, I got to do it twice, and that was really awesome. I just did it again, so the whole experience is fresh in my head, and I want to take you through it all step for step, tell you what it's like, and then at the end, I'll tell you who I think it's for and who I think should not do it. All right, like I said, you need to reserve your appointment in advance, and you can only do it from on board the ship. You can either do it using the Royal Caribbean app, or you can do it at the excursions desk, or using one of the interactive Royal IQ, I guess is what they're called, Royal IQ touchscreens. Once you got your appointment set up, then when your time has come, whenever that is, then you just need to go there and let them know that you're there. The first thing that happens is you go to a little school. There's a little classroom, and your instructor will come inside. They play a video for you. They go through the different things that you need to know. The hand signals, for instance, that they will give you. It's really loud inside the tunnel, and you're wearing earplugs and a helmet, so there's no way that anybody could talk to you inside. That's why you have to communicate with hand signals. And there's chin up, legs straight, bend your legs, relax. And if you want to quit right away, then you're supposed to do this. Once you've been well informed in the classroom, then they take you out to the suit up area, and you will get your clothing on. Here's some important things to note, just so you can sort of plan for this. You need to have real shoes on, so no sandals, no pumps or anything like that. They have to be shoes, and they should be tight, because if they're not, they're going to go flying away and maybe smash you in the face. And that doesn't sound like fun. The costume, the uniform that you have to wear is a one-piece suit, and it's made out of sort of nylon material, and you will get earplugs and a helmet and goggles. You have to leave everything in the changing area. So no jewelry, no watches, everything out of your pockets. So I would recommend only bring, the minimum of things you need to bring to go there, because at least here on the ship there's no lockers or anything. There's just cubby holes, and so as you are upstairs flying, the group that was just flying before you, they come down to get changed, and the group that's going to be flying after you, they come in after that to get changed. And I think it's very unlikely that here on the ship somebody's going to steal your stuff, but still, it'll just give you a better peace of mind, I think, if you don't have your wedding ring and your $2,000 iPhone and everything just sitting in there unguarded. Oh, by the way, if you have a ring and you don't want to take it off, or you can't take it off, then they just tape it for you, so there's that too. Here's a thing to note. It is warm in these costumes, and when you go up and you're waiting to fly, it's also not air conditioned in that room. And the first time I did it, it was a very warm day, and it was hot. I was sweaty and wet. And the thing is, they don't really have a whole bunch of those suits, so basically, somebody goes up, they're all wet and nervous and sweaty, they fly in the suit, they come back down, it gets hung up, they spray it with Lysol, and then immediately after that, somebody else puts it on. So if that freaks you out, then this is probably not the right thing for you. Same thing with the helmets and the goggles. Somebody just took it off, they spray it with Lysol, and you put it on, and it's gonna be wet. However, you do get your own fresh new pair of earplugs. Once that is all set up, then the trainer or the guide will go through the hand signals and the body position with you again, and then you go up and you sit around the outside of the tube, and it's a really cool experience because the air is not on when you go in, and then when they turn it on, you can feel like this enormous fan, this enormous machine come to life. And it's, I don't know, it just like, it gave me, the first time it gave me like a huge adrenaline rush. At least the way they do it here, first of all, the guide will go in the tunnel and he'll fly, or she will fly a little bit and just go through the position again, and then they go around, and one at a time you get into the tunnel and you get to fly. Here I think everybody gets to fly about a minute, I think it was, and then you're done, and then you have to wait there, or you can wait there. Well, I think you have to wait there, and then you watch everybody else fly in your group. And it was awesome. This is without a doubt the coolest thing that I have ever done on a cruise ship, and you know, it is also one of the coolest things I've ever done anywhere. And it's just such an amazing, wild experience, something that, you know, just doesn't happen to you in normal life, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm ever really gonna do like full-on skydiving. I probably won't do that. But so just the feeling of what it's like to, you know, to be like suspended in air with nothing holding you up, this is the only way to do it, really. All right, let me tell you a little bit about the experience itself, what it's like, and who I think it's good for and who I think shouldn't do it. I saw people of every age and every body type, including some disabilities, flying in the iFly tube. I saw really little kids, like, I think he was probably like 4 years old. He was like this tall. And I saw also some bigger guys. I'm sure there is a weight limit, but I don't know what it is in my head. So I don't think that like everybody can do it. I'm sure there is a weight limit. It was much easier than I thought to figure out how to hold your body so you can float in the tube. And almost everybody that I saw in both of my groups was able to fly alone for at least, you know, like 3 or 4 seconds before the guide had to like grab and readjust or pull the person back into the middle. I was much better the second time than I was the first time, and my guide, Vladimir, hi, Vladimir. He was so helpful and so good at what he does, and he told me, after I did it the first time, he told me the reason that I was so unstable is because I kept my legs too straight. If you see in my position, I'm like really spread out, and so what that caused was me always to fly forward with my head down, so I kept like, yeah, it just was weird. So the second time I did it, I bent my legs a little bit, and I don't have any video of that time because, like I said, it was totally spontaneous. But the second time I was a little bit more stable. I was able to fly a little bit longer on my own, and then yeah, I was moving back and forth in the tube, and you just have to push it away a little bit to get back into the middle. The experience itself, like I said, is just really wild. You feel the wind rushing up against you, and so let me talk about some people who I don't think that this would be good for. First of all, to put all this stuff on, it is kind of uncomfortable in a way, because you're wearing this one-piece suit, which, you know, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird. And then second, before you've ever done it, you don't know what to expect, and so at least I was a little bit nervous. I was a little bit, you know, my heart was kind of pounding. And then it's just weird that you feel somewhat restricted in your senses because you've got earplugs in, and then a helmet, and then goggles. Oh, so that's another thing. You can't wear glasses. At least here on the ship, they don't have anything that will like cover your glasses. And also, I think with the helmet, it might break the, you know, what are these things called again? So yeah, I mean, luckily enough, it wasn't that big of a deal for me without my glasses, but I could understand if other people, you know, like if you really can't see without your glasses, it might be kind of weird. Also, it can be, well, it's kind of stressful for your back and your shoulders. So if you've ever had any like major back problems or recent problems with your shoulders or whatever, you probably really shouldn't do it. You're in like this arched position, and different than I thought, it's not difficult to hold the arch position, you know, with your feet and your hands above your head, because the air will do that automatically. What's difficult is not like folding in half, you know, like a contortionist. So that was weird. It used different muscles than I was expecting that I would be using. Here's another thing. There was something about it that I found so exhausting the first time I did it, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then the second time I did it, I realized that I wasn't breathing. Yeah, for whatever reason, I was holding my breath. And so, you know, that's another bit of advice I can give you. You know, make sure that you breathe while you're inside. You've got, you know, this air rushing at you at however many miles an hour. So, I don't know, for some reason, you feel like you're diving, and I think that's why my body automatically went into like underwater mode. Does that make sense? And all in all, like I said, it just was a really, really amazing experience. If you're not freaked out by wearing somebody else's sweaty costume, if you're not freaked out by, you know, being muted in with a helmet and earplugs and goggles, then, and if you don't have any problems with your back or your shoulders, and you want to do it, then I think you definitely should do it. Make sure that you book your appointment as soon as you get on the ship, because the good appointments get all booked out. And like I said, you can only book it once, but if you get lucky, you might be able to do it a second time as well. Here's another thing that I just remembered. Don't make your goggles too tight. It's not like swimming goggles, you know, it's sort of like a plastic mask. And you can make it tighter by pulling on these strings. And I put mine on super tight, like I pulled it super tight when we were downstairs, and I had it on super tight for, you know, like the whole time that we were getting it explained the second time, and then when we were going up and waiting for the other people to fly, and then after I flew, I left it on my face really tight, and I literally had the indentation of that mask on my face until dinner time. So the second time I did it, I got a little bit smarter, and you have to put the goggles, you have to put the strap behind your head before you put the helmet on, but then I just left it really loose and it was like hanging down here. And then when it was my turn to fly, I put it on my face and pulled it tight, and then it was good. And as you can see now, I have no markings from it. So that's a little piece of advice I can give you as well. And I don't know what else to tell you about it other than please do it. And if you do it, let me know. Write it in the comments below. If you've ever done this on land anywhere, this is something that would interest me. And I'm sure I could find it out if I just looked on the internet myself. But I don't feel like doing that. I'd rather talk to you guys about it. So if you have done it on land, what I would be interested in knowing is, where did you do it? How much did it cost? And how often did you get to fly? Like, does this experience sound similar to what I was talking about? I'm assuming that when you do it on land and you pay like $150 for it, or however much that costs, that you get to fly a couple more times in one session, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So as always, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you do Patreon, I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/veryunofficial. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.